I train hundreds and hundreds of people every single year in many different programs and topics. There is none more important than being able to use an AED to save somebody's life, or even just use your hands to save somebody's life. In a moment, we're going to get to both demonstrations, and you're going to leave today with the knowledge on how to save somebody's life, or potentially save somebody's life. Over 600,000 people every single year suffer from cardiac arrest. Out of those 600,000 people, without the CPR being used to assist them, or an AED, and inpatient hospitalization, less than 6% actually live. Less than 6% of those people that suffer cardiac arrest, 600,000, less than 6% are going to live. This is why it's so critical for all the teachers, all the staff, to have the weapons to be able to arm yourself with saving or potentially saving somebody's life. And let me tell you, it doesn't get any easier than this. We're going to go through both topics in the next 15 minutes, and you're going to leave today knowing how to save somebody's life. Getting started, the first thing we're going to be doing is hands-only CPR. So the first thing you want to know, and there's a lot of different programs that I do, the most common is the layman Red Cross class. Please, I'd be more than happy to come to your school and do this training for you. Right now, we're just doing the hands-only CPR, so I'm going to go through the bare basics to save somebody's life. The first thing you want to do is make sure that the scene is safe. Once you've established that the scene is safe, you're going to be coming down and getting on the floor on your hands and knees, and you're going to be coming in and getting to this individual. Before I do that, I just want to share something with you. We're going to be going through CCC. You check, you call, you care. If there's anything that you're going to be remembering, CCC. Just remember that. CCC, check, call, care. So this is the check. I'm checking the scene for safety. It's safe. It takes 1 or 2 seconds. Second thing, I'm checking to see if there's signs of life in this individual. Are you okay? Are you okay? I'm going to put my ear 1 inch from his mouth. While I'm doing that, I am looking and focusing right on the chest. And I'm counting to 10. I see no movement with the chest rising or falling. I feel no breath coming out of his or her mouth, whether it be a student, a teacher, a parent, it does not matter. So right now I know there's a situation. So now is when I call. I'm either calling myself, if I'm all by myself, or I'm directing somebody to call. Eric, go call 911. John Smith, go call 911. Jane Doe, go call 911. I'm going to be able to help right away. As soon as I do that, as soon as that call is made, because it's critical that 911 is called and they get there as soon as possible, I'm going to go right into my hands-only CPR. So that's compressions. It doesn't get any easier than this. I am going to find on this individual exactly where his sternum meets. So for those of you watching right now, if you could feel your own rib cage, this is the easiest way that you can be able to do this. You could feel where your rib cage meets. This is the beginning, the base of the sternum. If you could go in up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, you're right here between the breastbone, between the nipple area. This is where you're going to be doing a compression. This is where your palm of one of your hands is going to be placed. The palm of one of your hands. So this will be the placement on the mannequin, on little Ann. Resuscitation Ann is her name. So I come down, and if you could pan right in, my palm is going right here in the middle of her breastbone. It's very important because the mistake that is made very commonly is it's right in the middle, and you're not going to get enough pressure if you're not using your palm. So you come down with your palm, and then you place your other hand directly over that first hand, and you're going to be lining up your shoulders and your torso almost directly over those hands. The reason why this position is so important is because you need the pressure to move the rib cage. That is what we are doing right now. That is what CPR is all about. Moving the rib cage 2 inches to hit the heart. We are trying to establish a normal heartbeat again. And there is no way that that's going to happen if we don't make contact with the heart on the compression. So we're coming in. Again, I'm going to maintain the position. My knees are going to be on the ground. My palm is going to be directly over the sternum, about 2 inches above where it meets. And then my other hand's going to be placed right over that hand. This is how easy it is. So now comes the fun part. Now comes the song where you need to remember. And I know it's going to sound very funny, but you say, Matt, how fast do I go? Well, you have to do 100 beats in 1 minute. That's 100 beats in 60 seconds. That's almost twice a second. If you go once per second, it's going to be too slow. So there's a song out there, and half of you may know it. It's called Staying Alive. and it's not, no pun intended, but intended. Staying alive. It's a beat started by, I think, that movie Saturday Night Fever, and I really don't know the words, but it sounds something like this with a lot of beats. Dun, 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 staying alive, staying alive. That is what you are singing in your head while you are creating a beat and pressing down on the rib cage. That is all I care about. Everything else comes with training that I do at another time with you. This is what you're focusing on right now to give somebody CPR. Find the rib cage, put both where I told you, shoulders are directly over, dun, 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 staying alive, staying alive. You are doing this as long as you can. This is what a compression only is. Hands only CPR. It is this easy. Now, I just did that for 15 seconds, and I'm starting to get tired. You are going to become very, very tired if you have to do that for 2 or 3 minutes straight. Can you stop doing that? Well, yes you can, but only under 4 reasons. 1, EMS arrive. 2, a defibrillator or AED arrives on scene. Either somebody else has gone and got it, or there's one in the area where you are performing the CPR. 3, the person actually becomes resuscitated, which means they are able to open their eyes, they're starting to breathe again. Then you would stop for a little while and make sure to monitor the scene. And 4, you become too exhausted and too tired. Your safety, when I started this presentation, is extremely important. And if you think that you're starting to feel lightheaded and you may faint, make sure you take a break. Maybe somebody else could assist you with the process of CPR. So there we have the process, the check, the call, and the care. I will say under Good Samaritan laws, you are covered. You are covered to assist. If something goes wrong, God forbid a rib breaks while I'm giving a CPR, you know what? You are covered. You are doing what you can be doing to help save this individual's life under the scope of your training. What does that mean? Matt talked for 15 minutes to me today about how to save somebody's life with compressions in AED. That means under the scope of that training, I could be doing that to help save somebody's life. You don't want to probably take 2 butter knives from the cafeteria and try open heart surgery. That would be outside of your scope of training. So do not worry. Don't let that barrier of maybe I might injure this person or hurt this person affect you in any shape or way. So now we have hands-only CPR covered. What's even more important than utilizing your hands to try to save somebody's life? Well, AED stands for Automated External Defibrillator, and there is one in every single school. At least one. Many of the high schools and middle schools have 2 or 3 of them. So in the citywide, I think we have over 80 defibrillators in the Board of Education, which is phenomenal because these are the most important tools to help save a life. Whether it be cardiac arrest, whether it be a breathing emergency and the Heimlich just didn't work and the person passed out from lack of oxygen, we need to get that AED right away. So I'm going to come over here to where the AED is set up, and I'm going to show you exactly how easy this process is for you. So the first thing I'm going to do is, if you come across a situation where somebody is passed out, maybe they're face down, face up, we found out how to do the check. So you're going to do all that. You're going to do CPR if you can and send somebody else to get the AED. Once the AED arrives on scene, 911 is already called like we discussed before. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to open it up. And when I say that probably is the hardest thing you have to do, that probably is the hardest thing that you have to do. It is extremely easy to use the AED. They make it so simple. All we have to do is follow exactly what it says. So you want to make sure you know where it is. As a teacher, as a staff within the Board of Ed, you need to make sure for your school you know where every single AED is. I mentioned some buildings have 3, 4. I know at least every single building, every single school has at least one. That one is located outside of the main office. Other than that, I think near gymnasiums, in custodial offices, in certain parts of the hallways and parts of schools, it is your responsibility to know where the closest one is at any given moment. So, moving forward, I'm coming to the scene. Somebody is doing CPR. They're going to continue to do CPR as I open up the AED. I have 3 models here. I have 2 dummy models is what we call them, and I have this. This is a real live model. This is a $2,000 model that you have hanging on your wall. The reason why I picked a Philips Heart Start is because I'm going to open this up, I'm going to turn it on so you can see exactly what it looks like and what it sounds like, because the majority of the schools do have this model. So the first thing I'm going to do, somebody's doing CPR right now, is I'm going to open this up. I'm getting very nervous. My heart's beating. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be able to do this. adrenaline is pumping. When I say it is very simple, it is easier than doing compressions, yes, your adrenaline will be pumping. Just take a deep breath and push on. It is your responsibility now, or whoever is working on this individual, to try to save their life. So don't let that affect you if you can avoid it. Just know that it is very simple for this process. Once you open this up, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to turn it on. Now, I'm not going to turn this on yet. I'm going to go through the dummy model so I could go through a full cycle so you could see exactly what this is like. Because with this live unit, I could only go so far. I can't go past where it says take the pads out. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn it on. The first thing it's going to say is call 911 immediately. We have that established. The second thing it's going to say is remove all clothing from the individual. I'm going to take the scissors. There's a scissors located in every single unit. I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to remove this clothing. I'm going to remove it as fast as I can. If you can tear the clothing, by all means tear it. It's seconds faster. And right now, seconds count. Everything must be removed from the torso. The bra, the shirt, anything on there has to be removed. We have to have a clean area. If the individual is extremely hairy, and I know there might be some laughs, but this is serious, we need to take the razor blade. The razor blade will be attached, in this case, with another scissors pair, with gloves, and with a breathing barrier. That's what's in every single case attached to the AED. Once we take that razor, and this is very rare, but if you need to, you're going to shave a couple areas on the chest, and I'm going to show you exactly where to shave. So the next thing you're going to be doing, and I'm going to be showing you with my dummy trainer number 1 here, is, let me open this up. So, like I said, opening up is the hardest part. You're going to turn that on. We've already called 911. We've already removed the clothing. You have to plug in the pads. Every single one of your models will have the pads already plugged into the AED. So once I plug that in here, this is actually an AED that costs, the pads cost about $55, but they expired. So I'm able to show you exactly how easy it is to open a live set of your pads. That's it. We have one side and two sides. Every single side shows you exactly where to put it. So once you peel this, and when I say it's sticky, it is sticky. It's like those mouse traps that you catch mice on. You put this right on one of the areas that it shows the picture. Upper right, lower left. Upper right, lower left. Upper right, lower left. If you don't remember that, I don't care. The picture will be on the pads and it will show you exactly what to do. Once you have done that, the machine will register that and say place second pad directly as shown on the individual. So I will take the second pad, I will place it directly as shown on the individual. Once I have those pads established, the machine will analyze that. It will say analyzing. You cannot touch the individual while the machine is analyzing. If you're still giving compressions, if you're rubbing his hair, her hair, saying, it's okay, come on, come on. The machine may recognize the pulse from your hand and not give a shock if the shock is warranted. Very important. You want to maintain a 1 foot radius. If you have a cell phone on your person, you want to make sure that you give it about a 6 foot radius. Keep the area clear. That's the most important thing. The machine is analyzing. It will analyze, it will register that either there is a heartbeat or there isn't. And this is very important because we're not all really, really smart when it comes to taking care of people. And maybe I misread this situation. Maybe there is a heartbeat and I'm about to shock this guy to, where. Well, the machine will tell me if I'm right or wrong. And it will say, no heartbeat detected, begin to shock. And it will warm up and it will say, shock now. And the button will start lighting up and you will place your finger on the button and you will shock them. You will do a maximum of 3 shocks. After that, the machine will stop. It says continue with your CPR, no heartbeat detected. I will go right back into my CPR, just as I showed you. Staying alive, and I'm singing this to myself because my voice is pretty terrible. And I'm going to be doing this for 2 minutes. The machine will count down every 30 seconds. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds left of CPR. You have 1 minute left of CPR. You have 30 seconds left of CPR. And once you reach that maximum 2 minute level, it will analyze again and the whole process will start. So That is essentially how easy it is. And I know I've gone over a lot of things today, and it might seem complicated. All I want you to know is 1, where is the AEDs located in your building? 2, it is cake to operate. Do not let the barrier of I can't do it overcome the fact that you could save a life. Let's do a live demonstration. So here we have the pads already hooked up. I'm going to come down. We've already done our CPR. We've already called 911. We've already checked to make sure the scene is safe. And we have a couple teachers huddled around. We have a couple other students. So here I am. The machine is hooked up.
Analyzing rhythm.
As soon as I turn it on, the machine is going to be analyzing the rhythm.
Shock advised.
Did not register a normal heartbeat.
Everyone stand clear.
Everybody staying clear. Shocking.
Everyone stand clear. Push the shock button. Push the shock button. Shock delivered. Begin 5 cycles of CPR.
So this machine registered I only needed 1 shock. It will do a maximum of 3. There are different settings for the trainer AED machines. So I will come over here and I will do CPR for 2 minutes. Notice how my shoulders are directly over my hands. Notice how my knees are straight on the ground and my feet are behind them. I have to
30 seconds of CPR remain.
I have to come down 2 whole inches to hit the heart, or else it's not going to work. I don't think I need to take 2 minutes of continuously compressing the chest to tell you guys and show you guys how imperative it is. But you will if you ever find yourself working on an individual, a student or a teacher. So it is 2 minutes of CPR, and look it, I'm starting to sweat. It is hot in here, but I'm also tired. And I only did that for 30 seconds. Think of how 2 minutes will affect you. Be ready to give the proper care. 2 inches. That's how hard you have to concave the chest to come down and hit the heart.